movie I wrote and financed, which generated large losses, or the burger restaurant we opened where the only eating was into our joint savings, I assure her. Right, and I am the next Hemingway, Ernest, not Mariel. Old Man and the Lynx sounds like a perfect title. I sense some resistance.
Hello there,
to
and
this
welcome
new
to this
lunacy,
first
until
round
I
of the
consent to
tournament.
let her join me at Pebble
Anticipation is
Beach,
rampant today.
Greenbrier, the
Let's see what you do.
Broadmoor, Hawaii, Hilton Head, and a host of other great resorts and locations at which she can double my budget. Maybe she can write about the spas, and we can deduct her costs as well. I assure her we will only be spending the kids' inheritances, not our retirement funds. This, of course, is a lie brought on by my addiction. Nevertheless, she buys into the plan, allowing me to move on to the next obstacle. The second challenge is to identify the 100 best courses available to the public. Thanks to Google, I have recently conquered the idiosyncrasies of Al Gore's inventive mind. I was whisked to Golf Magazine's top 100 courses you can play article. Unfortunately, the rankings were done in 2008, meaning they are somewhat dated. Of course, if my journey takes 5 years, there will be any number of changes. Maybe that is good, as I would have a legitimate claim to deduct future golf travel costs for updated editions. Nevertheless, it will be like trying to hit a moving target, not dissimilar to playing around after an evening with some of my serious drinking buddies.
Solid swing.
Upon first reviewing the Golf Magazine list, I noticed a striking error. Pebble Beach was not
Back
rated
in the
number
saddle
one.
here. Saddle being
Due to
fairway.
some
Nice
obvious
stuff.
but unexplained flaw, the best course in the world was rated second. Since I believe Pebble Beach to be perfection, the only explanation would be a tie. Coming in at number one was Pacific Dunes in Oregon. The Bandhan Dunes courses have a great reputation, and I am anxious to try them out. But better than Pebble Beach? My review of the list indicates that I have previously played 15 of the named courses, most of which are located in California, Nevada, and Arizona. Should I play them again? At an average cost of $300 per round plus travel and accommodations, it will put quite a dent in the pocketbook. Nevertheless, it does seem unavoidable. Further,
after the first hole.
who would not want to spend another 5 days in 115-degree weather in
And
Scottsdale?
second hole
Did I
coming
mention
up.
I am cheap? The off-season rates may be too hard to pass up, especially in the desert communities where savings of 60% to 70% are the norm during the summer. Speaking of great locations, it looks like I will be making treks to such vacation meccas as Bismarck, North Dakota, Rhodes, Iowa, Biwabic, Minnesota, and Gothenburg, Nebraska. Are you kidding me? At least I've heard of Bismarck. Logistics are going to be an issue. There is a disproportionate number of courses in the South
All right,
and
looking good so
Mid-Atlantic.
far.
That means more garden spots like Choctaw and Biloxi, Mississippi, and Opelika, Alabama. Offsetting this
yeah,
are
I stand
trips to Keel
corrected.
Island,
It's the deep
Pinehurst,
stuff for
and
you.
several locations in the Blue Ridge Mountains that should actually be great. There are as many courses in Maine, too, as there are in Texas, and neither offers convenient travel options. Further, with Maine, I have to find a way to get there during golf season, and I am usually busy during the month of July. I always have been good at planning, so I can probably figure out the most efficient way to get this done. Not sure how my boss will feel about the time off from work, but being self-employed, I have a 50-50 chance of not getting fired. That, of course, brings up the next issue: how to pay for this indulgence. Even planning for the tax losses, the process is likely to set me back
That's
big
unfortunate.
time. Based
Pretty
on past
deep, rough
travels,
year.
I would expect to
Not
pay
gonna sugarcoat it.
$1,200 per course for greens fees, caddies, travel, accommodations, and the requisite golf hat. Food is not included in this estimate. If my projections are right, I need to set aside $120,000 to $150,000 for this experience. At least it is less than financing the movie or opening the restaurant. The logical way to cover the cost is to convince my daughter to drop out of her overpriced private East Coast college after her sophomore year. If not, liquidating my wife's retirement account might be the answer. But I will have to tread lightly with this one. The preferred low-cost option is to play off-season. December in Minnesota and August in Las Vegas will save a few bucks on greens fees and accommodations. There are going to be many challenges, but hey, it sounds like fun. And my accountant says it may be tax deductible. Bring on Biwabic. Chapter 3. Why am I doing this? The typical question I get from friends and family regarding this boondoggle is, why are you doing this? The question arises so often that I have begun to ask myself the same thing. First and most obvious is that I truly am addicted to the sport. I love all that is great about the game, including the gentlemanly traditions, which seem to be generally more obvious on private and upscale public facilities. I hate to find myself on a municipal track with an unimaginative design and questionable course conditions. And let's not even talk about the riffraff and their cut-off jeans who seem to care so little about the sport.
Coming off a
Call me old and stodgy,
let's see what happens here.
Well, I am old and stodgy and see no point at this time to change. Secondly, I am still trying to justify my college education. Since I skipped so many of my classes, I feel like my father never got his money's worth. By the way, he agrees. Maybe if I can get published, the English literature degree will be forgiven. Another motivating factor is my desire to see the United States. Okay, I have as much interest in visiting North Dakota as I have in traveling to New Delhi. But this is a terrific country, and there is much to see. Can there be a better way to get a dose of Americana than golfing across the fruited plains? Of course there is, but I plan to golf anyway. Lastly, and as mentioned before,
looks like we have
an
around
important side benefit of
yards
publishing
to go.
this book is that I hope to gain access to people who are in a position to help me achieve my real goal. By necessity, this work can only address courses available to the public. If given a choice, I would prefer to golf the 100 best courses in the country. Specifically, this would include Cypress Point, Pine Valley, and the penultimate golf addict's #1 bucket list course, Augusta National. If you are a member at one of these exclusive courses, feel free to contact me, and I will make the trek to New Jersey, Georgia, or Northern California. Did I mention I will pick up the dinner tab? So why am I doing this? Are you kidding? This is the coolest thing ever. Chapter 4. Weapons of Grass Destruction. The one thing every golf addict loves is an excuse to buy new equipment. TaylorMade, Callaway, Titleist, Nike, Cobra, Ping, Cleveland, etc. would all be out of business if those of us addicted to the sport were not convinced that a new piece of hardware could lower our scores by a couple of strokes per round. Alas, years of constant change have wrought longer drives, better spin control, and straighter shots, but unfortunately the scorecards remain the same. Regardless, my decision to embark on a golf odyssey provided the perfect opportunity to check out my local golf store. My current bag contains the classic TaylorMade bubble burner driver. The grip on the club needs to be replaced, and I think I have detected the beginning of a crack in the face. Probably need a new driver. My three-middle and I have had a love-hate relationship for years. Ever since I cashed in some American Express points to acquire the club sight unseen, we have had issues. The TaylorMade club is prone to duck hooks. Given the age and inconsistency of the club, it cannot possibly be the operator. It will probably have to be replaced as well. I just purchased a TaylorMade bubble burner hybrid with a 19-degree loft. It worked great in the store, hitting into the giant plastic wall, but has been inconsistent on the course. The club has a neutral face, which I like, but has a tendency to go right at the wrong time. As the club is only a month old, it may be salvageable. My other hybrid is a Ping 22-degree lofted club. This one has a closed face and is very confusing compared to the other hybrid. I seldom use this club except to play from the gnarly rough that defines the area just outside the fairways at La Costa. For consistency, it probably has to go too. The irons, P through 4, are Callaway X18s. I like these clubs, but I'm not sure they like me.
Whoops.
3 years of hacking around have taken their toll.
Further,
the 9-iron is a replacement club with a regular graphite shaft versus the stiff graphite ones belonging to the rest of the set. I am about to give up on the original 9-iron falling out of the pine tree located along the left side of the 11th fairway of the La Costa North Course. I do not recall the exact circumstances that resulted in the club ending up in the tree, but suspect it had something to do with back-to-back double bogeys. These clubs are likely to be replaced. I have 2 Cleveland wedges. The 56 degree replaced another that found its way over the fence on the left side of number 4. I believe this club was won in a raffle at some charity golf event. As a free club, I can attest that I am getting my money's worth. Too bad, as I use the club for everything under 75 yards to the putting green. I also have been known to use it for putting on those days when I cannot sink anything. The other wedge is 52 degrees and has been a disappointment, but seldom sees the light of day. I think some new wedges are in order as well. Lastly, my putter. For the past year, I've been playing a Monza Spider. It is a 33-inch model that has actually helped my game. The enormous head eliminates the possibility of a whiff and seems to put the ball generally on line.
Not too bad. You're on the fairway.
I am currently on my second edition, the first having developed a mysterious bend in the shaft. My shoes are new, and I have plenty of golf gloves, courtesy of the 2-for-1 deal from MG Golf, but my Rodney Dangerfield golf bag has a broken zipper, so that, too, has to go in favor of something new. Armed with my wish list and some room on the Visa card, I head to Golf Galaxy.
That's going to have to hit something.
Unfortunately, my love of new golf equipment is tempered by my frugality.
Nice
a new set of irons with graphite shafts will set me back about $800. Another $350 for a driver, $225 for a 3-wood, $300 for 2 hybrids, and $250 worth of wedges seems excessive. I have no doubt that new clubs will be in the offing before my quest is complete, but not today. On the positive side, the Callaway Tour I golf ball is on sale, as the current line is being discontinued. I buy out the remaining stock of 5 dozen for under $30 a box. This is a savings of $15 per dozen from the usual price, and should give me at least 20 rounds worth of lake balls. My final purchase is the most important piece of equipment that any golfer can have in his bag. The proper use of this tool has saved many a disaster round. For a mere $30, I have acquired the Cadillac of ball retrievers.
5th hole,
a Golf Galaxy
up.
12-foot model that comes with its own head cover. The contraption that retrieves the ball is unique. Hopefully, it will work better than my previous 10 other ball retrievers, all of which have broken. Now, this is exciting. I already am looking forward to my next round and the opportunity to fish a few Pro V1s out of the many lakes and creeks that comprise La Costa. I package up my purchases and head back to the office. Disappointed I have not acquired any new clubs, but still excited about the ball retriever.
Good.
Maybe an afternoon round is warranted. I first need to check my emails. First thing I see is that Ostad's is offering a special deal on personalized Titleist Pro V1s. Buy 3 dozen, get 1 dozen free with no cost personalization. Let's see. At $45 per dozen and $6.99 shipping, the average cost is only $35.50 per dozen. That is a great deal for Titleists, although I do not really care about the personalization. Heck, I'm just going to lose them anyway, assuming I cannot drag them out with my new ball retriever. Not able to pass up a deal, I order another 4 dozen golf balls inscribed with my golfing moniker, Bogeyman. I feel a little bad for the 10-year-old kid that drags these balls out of the pond for the purpose of reselling them. Golf is a psychological game, and who wants to see a bogey looking them in the eye before they tee off? Chapter 5, More Logistical Nightmares.
Okay, so that'll
Enough
keep
procrastination.
You at 1 over
It
for the
is
round.
time to start booking some trips. A cursory glance at the list indicates several destinations where one can complete 3 or 4 courses in short order. One option includes the Kohler courses near Sheboygan, Wisconsin. Whistling Straits, Black Wolf Run, and Whistling Straits Irish are part of the same resort facility. Even more compelling is that the PGA Championship is scheduled for Whistling Straits in August. In addition, Erin Hills Golf Course, which is situated between Sheboygan and Milwaukee, has just been selected to host the 2017 U.S. Open. The second option, and my own personal favorite, is the Pebble Beach Junket. Pebble Beach, Spyglass Hill, and the links at Spanish Bay are available via a great, albeit expensive, package. It may also be possible to play Pasatiempo and Cordoval on the same trip. Option 3 is Bandhan Dunes along the Oregon coast. Pacific Dunes, Bandhan Dunes, Bandhan Trails provide the highest concentration of highly ranked courses in the United States. I also have learned that a fourth course, Old MacDonald, is scheduled to open in June. No doubt the Golf Magazine bias will land this one in the top 100 as well. This is a must trip, according to my golfing buddies who have already made the trek.
From here to the cup.
After much internal anguish and consultation with the ultimate decision maker, my wife, the obvious decision is to book all three and to do it quickly. The colder courses represent the most significant challenge. Who in the world wants to go to Milwaukee? I suppose this will be a recurring theme given some of the outlying locales. On the plus side, I have to go to Minnesota this summer for a family reunion with my in-laws. Minnesota is close to Wisconsin, and with the brownie points earned for hanging with the fam, I can negotiate a week to golf on my own. It also turns out that one of my best friends and former Little League teammate had the misfortune, in my words, not his, to end up in the Milwaukee area. Scott Rand is a doctor, and therefore by definition must also be a golfer. With sufficient warning, he should be able to make the time for a few days on the links.
Coming off up
my willingness to fly on July 4 results in a bargain airfare on Southwest of only $72 plus, and this is why I love Southwest. My golf clubs fly free. The cost to fly from Milwaukee to Minneapolis is somewhat more expensive, and I will have to pay for the clubs. It is then back on Southwest for the return to San Diego. Even better, Scott is able to go online and book 2 nights and 3 rounds of golf at Whistling Straits for less than $1,000 per person. Maybe I will figure it out when I get there, but for right now, this looks like one of the better bargains around. There is only one negative. Erin Hills is now closed and will not be reopening until later in July, making a return trip to Milwaukee necessary. Cool. 3 courses the first week in July, only 97 to go. Make that 96. The family reunion is being held in Brainerd, Minnesota. Since I drive the in-laws crazy, they usually send me off to play golf when we're together. Deacon's Lodge is located in the Brainerd area, so I will head there that week as well. It turns out there is another top 100 course in Minnesota. The Quarry at Giants Ridge is located in Biwabic. I misspelled this city 4 times before getting it right. I have no idea where it's located, but figure it must be close to Brainerd,
Let's let her rip.
According to Google Maps, the distance is merely 158 miles. Given my driving style, that would be 2 hours. However, Google says 3 hours and 7 minutes, so it is not all highways. A quick glance at the map shows the course to be north of Duluth toward International Falls, near Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada. Ouch! We will only be there for 3 days, and I'm getting too old for 6-hour round trips. This venue will also need to be delayed. Speaking of booking quickly, I finally am able to get a quorum from my 3 brothers on a date we can go to Bandhan Dunes. Everyone is in agreement with leaving on Saturday, September 25. I pop up the website and call for reservations. 90 minutes later, I have tentatively booked a guest cottage for Wednesday, September 28, and a round at Pacific Dunes that afternoon. We have 2 rounds scheduled for Thursday, starting on Bandhan Trails and finishing on Old MacDonald. There are no carts, so we old men are going to be mucho tired. Friday morning, we are reserved for Bandhan Dunes. We're up to $8,500 for the group and still need to cover airfare, car rental, food, and caddies. Chapter 6, and the winner is if you're still listening,
Nice.
you are probably asking yourself, what qualifies this guy to tell me what golf courses I should be playing? In a word, nothing. I am a 50-something, bespectacled, slightly overweight, above average, but not great golfer. My handicap floats between 6 and 8, which means I score more often above 80 than below. I am a comparatively short hitter with a pretty good short game. I have never studied the game of golf, nor have I taken a course in golf course architecture. I did not take up the game until college when I needed an excuse to ditch class. As described earlier, I am a bit hyper, so I enjoy a course that is constantly in my face. Ultimately, I am overly opinionated and firmly believe everyone is entitled to my point of view. So qualifications,
and that'll keep you at
reason.
1 over for the round.
On the other hand, I have extensive experience as a film critic, Netflix.
Okay,
I realize
it's time
this
to
has
send
nothing
this ball
to do
on
with
its way.
evaluating a golf course, but I am used to assigning 1 to 5 stars in a subjective manner. In fact, in reviewing my Netflix account, I was impressed, while simultaneously depressed, that I have amassed 1,700 ratings. Imagine watching 1,700 movies at 1.75 hours per film. Based upon the knowledge garnered during my MBA education, this suggests an accumulation of 2,950 hours, or more than 120 days without
This is a
sleep.
beauty.
I would like to see you do that. On the other hand, it is depressing that I have wasted so much of my life. As a rater, I am tougher than most.
This shot's
Perhaps
like
it
we
is
have
my
about
response to the
$1.95 to
rampant
go.
grade inflation afflicting our schools, which, after participation trophies, is the root cause of most of this country's problems. I ascribe to rating on a bell curve with very few A's and very few F's. Of the 1,700-plus movies I have rated on Netflix, only 10 have received 5 stars. This includes, in no particular order, What About Bob, My Cousin Vinny, Dirty Harry, Under Siege, Animal House, Scrooge,
Could be
True
in the rough
Lies,
here.
Charlie Wilson's War, Fargo, and Fast Times at Ridgemont High, with honorable mentions for The Wrong Guy and Big Trouble. Not too many critically acclaimed movies in this group, thus anything you read in this book should be taken with a grain of salt. Is it too late to return your copy? Give me credit for knowing what I like and not being afraid to defy convention. No need here for me to just follow the crowd. So how does my rating system work? Basically, my ratings reflect the coolness of a golf course. In other words, does it have a wow factor? My rating is on a 1 to 10 scale, with 10, A+, being Pebble Beach, which is the coolest place on the planet.
Well, at least
Any
you
course
are on the
deserving of a
green.
spot
All right,
on the
12
top
footer
100
here.
should get a minimum score of 7, C. Defining cool is always difficult, but I know it when I see it. Factors include physical setting, course condition, history, local amenities, facilities, staff, and hat selection. Okay, maybe hat selection is not critical, but I think more courses should focus on providing an interesting and eclectic collection of headwear. The toughest job will be to look past weather in evaluating a facility, especially given my propensity to save money and the likelihood I will play many of the courses during the swing or off-season. I tend to like desert golf and forest-lined fairways,
Great putt in there.
and am
Par.
not as keen on Florida golf or links designs. As many
Well,
of
you
the
have
top-ranked
a
courses
decent
are
round
link
going
style,
after 9.
including
Not amazing,
the Bandhan
but not
Dunes and
bad.
the color courses. I
Coming
could
off
break
a
with the
par
experts
on the
early.
last one. Let's see what happens
It is
here.
important to understand that the ratings will generally be based upon no more than 1 or 2 rounds. I am sure all of the venues are great. However, it would be impossible to ignore external influences that may or may not be relevant. For example, how does one address playing Innisbrook's Copperhead course in tournament-ready condition 2 weeks before the PGA event and in great weather versus Cog
looking
Hill
good.
played in driving rain, 25-mile-per-hour winds, and frigid air? In addition, I have included the category absolutely
Okay, you're
must
about
play.
140 yards
The
out
answer
here.
is probably a resounding yes to all, but in the interest of helping the reader prioritize his schedule, some had to receive a no. Generally, this is based upon a combination of factors, including cost, convenience, and proximity to other venues as much as the actual golf course itself. I firmly believe everyone should play Taconic, but the outlying location, as well as a reservation system that does not allow tee times to be booked more than 1 week in advance, makes this one less critical. Ultimately, this exercise is highly subjective. Chapter 7, the dry and hot run. Before venturing all the way to Sheboygan, I decided to have a dry run on a local course. My original intention was to visit Trump National in Los Angeles County. However, my logical golfing partner is busy for the next several weeks. Option 2 is to visit the Coachella Valley, Palm Springs area for off-season rounds on several courses I have previously played. I know that green fees drop precipitously during the summer when temperatures hit triple digits. The site for the La Quinta Resort Mountain Course suggests that discounted rates are available beginning on June 1. The weather cannot be that hot then, can it? I bring up Yahoo weather. High today, May 2. In Palm Desert is 95 degrees.
1 over for the round.
Well, I have played in toastier conditions. Friends Joe and Greta Strong agree to join us June 1, so I book heavily discounted rounds at La Quinta and the PGA West Stadium course. I get a 7:45 a.m. starting time at La Quinta, but nothing is available until 9:30 at the stadium course. Unfortunately, this means we will experience the hottest part of the day. Oh well, the price is right, and I always enjoy golfing in this area. Chapter 8, Anticipation. There are only 2 weeks remaining until we hit the links at the La Quinta Resort Mountain Course. Yahoo Weather says the high in Palm Desert will be 93 degrees. Though no clothes horse, I have started thinking about my attire. Golf is one of the few sports, hobbies, vocations, etc., where sartorial splendor takes a backseat to gaudy, unconventional, and the outright ridiculous. From Ryan Moore's ties to Ian Poulter's extremes, no sport celebrates fabulous attire like golf. Of course, professional players cannot wear shorts, go figure. Unfortunately, given my age and body shape, I do everything I can to not draw attention to myself. As such, I am forsaking knickers. Given the weather in the desert, I probably will break down and wear shorts. This is less of a problem for me than my golfing partners, whom I will likely blind with the sun reflecting off my pasty white legs. But this also raises the question as to whether I should continue to wear my mid-calf old dude socks or switch to those ridiculous women's anklets. After years of ribbing from the members of the club, I tried the little socks last year for the first time. They were totally uncomfortable, and they caused my voice to hit new highs. My primary goal is to conform, but those damn socks make me very emotional. I will defer that decision. Over the years, I have played in numerous golfing events where the players are given free shirts, my favorite price. And I also have received from friends and family any number of golf shirts for birthdays and Christmas, so I am good to go. I have plenty of golf shoes, and my khaki and navy shorts are well stocked. Bottom line is that there will be no shopping for new duds. When it comes to golf, however, I do believe it is incumbent upon all of us to wear at least something unusual. Being severely follically challenged, I must wear a golf hat. No visor for me. Over the years, I have purchased hats at every new course I play. At last count, there were nearly 200 golf hats occupying space in my closet. The upcoming adventure will add at least another 100 to the collection. Many of the existing hats have been worn on numerous occasions and have been virtually destroyed by sweat marks. So getting a few new lids is probably a good thing. When I acquire new headgear, it is usually of a designer color that my daughter would be embarrassed to wear, and you should see the stuff she can pull off. Clashing with the rest of my wardrobe is preferred, and fluorescent is ideal. Whenever possible, I seek out caps that can double as beacons in case I am lost in the woods, or that at least can protect me from stray deer hunters by identifying my presence from several miles away. Alas, not all golf facilities share my need to be different. In fact, there seems to be an inverse relationship between the class of a facility and the attractiveness of the hats. For example, it usually takes a lot of looking to find something acceptable/ridiculous at the Pebble Beach courses. Chapter 9. The sun also rises, and boy is it hot. As a Southern California resident, I have often gravitated to the desert communities to satiate my need for winter golf. As an idiot, cheapskate, and golf addict, I also find myself drawn to the desert during the off-season, when the temperatures regularly exceed 3 digits, but greens fees drop by 70%. Golfing early and with sufficient hydration, I learned the hard way that beer does not represent proper hydration, can make a round enjoyable, especially if you are nuts. Unlike northern climates, off-season golf in the desert is not only possible, but the condition of the courses is generally very good. Further, the ball rolls a lot further on a sun-baked fairway than through a snowbank. When I grew up, the desert was collectively referred to as Palm Springs. As the region has developed, however, this golfing mecca is now primarily situated in the communities of Palm Desert, Indian Wells, Rancho Mirage, and La Quinta. Within these 4 communities alone, there were 89 golf courses listed in a recent Palm Springs Life magazine article. Of these, 32 are open to the public. The remaining private courses are generally affiliated with residential developments. Coachella Valley occupies a large geographic area, and the commute from Palm Springs proper to PGA West can easily take 45 minutes, so I recommend staying in one of the new communities. If you're looking to golf the 2 top 100 courses, they are not far from Palm Desert. PGA West Stadium course is located about 15 minutes away, but planned for 30 minutes of travel time. One annoying feature of the desert area is the incessant traffic signals that appear to be timed to maximum infuriation. This problem is compounded by the fact that it seems like half the people drive like they're 80 years old, which of course makes sense, since half the people on the road are octogenarians. If you like Cadillac and Lincoln sedans, then your vacation will have an added benefit. But I digress. The second top 100 course is La Quinta Resort Mountain Course. This facility is situated less than 10 miles from the heart of Palm Desert. The great thing about desert golf is the warm, sometimes
fairway.
hot,
Let's
dry
see if we
air,
can hit that
which
green
allows
now.
shorter
And
hitters
it looks like we
to
have about
develop an inflated
135
sense
yards
of power.
or so to
It
go.
usually takes me 3 rounds to recalibrate when returning to my low-lying, heavy-air, wet fairway and sea-level home course. Desert play is often target golf, although many of the resorts have layouts that favor the directionally challenged. With the exception of the La Quinta courses, there is not much topographical change, but like Florida, the courses are characterized by plenty of water.
Nice swing.
When choosing a location to base in the desert, there are essentially 2 options. Palm Desert offers more alternatives to golfing. If the non-golfing spouse wants to get a little
33
shopping,
feet to the hole here.
you can send them over to the overpriced but exclusive El Paseo shopping district while you are on the links. If you have more control, direct them to the Cabazon Outlet Mall, about 30 miles to the west. This is one of the better outlet malls, and the prices are more reasonable. Palm Desert also offers better access to the best restaurants in the valley and has superior proximity to several Indian casinos. If on a golf excursion with the guys, especially if 36 holes a day are planned, La Quinta offers a second alternative. The courses along the Santa Rosa Mountains have more character and potentially less wind. The downside is that the locale is more isolated. Nevertheless, as the area has expanded, more services are being provided. Golf in the Coachella Valley is an
Sitting
absolute
at 1 over
must
for the
a
round.
passionate golfer. An extended vacation at one of the many seasonal rentals allows for an amazing array
it's
of
time to
golf,
send this
terrific
ball
weather
on its
during
way.
the winter, and day excursions to Los Angeles, about a 2-hour drive to hit Trump National and or to San Diego for Torrey Pines South, also about 2 hours. If you are trying to play the entire top 100, Rustic Canyon in Moore Park is situated just west of Los Angeles County, although it is a bit of a drive and may require an overnight stay. One note of caution. The desert is prone to high winds, and despite the warm afternoon highs, there are frost delays. You never know what an off-season desert morning might bring. Round 1, La Quinta Resort Mountain. Course rank, 70.
No good.
Date played,
Pretty
June
deep
2nd,
stuff here.
2010.
Give it a
Starting
good
time,
hack. Let's put it in the right
7:45
direction.
a.m. Weather, it was 75 degrees when we teed off and 91 degrees when we putted out on 18. My score, 85. Number of lost golf balls, 4, all on the front side. I hope this is not a trend. Highlights, 1 birdie and 8 pars. Lowlights, 2 doubles and a quadruple. Excuse for not breaking 80, I suck. After a quick kick-in par on number 1, I hooked a ball into the lake on number 2. Bad concentration on the front side, including 4 in the water, led to a 48 going out. Finishing with a 37, things improved dramatically on the much tougher inward 9. Welcome to my golf game. Greens fee,
Solid
$79,
swing.
discounted off-season rate. Playing partner, Joe Strong, longtime drinking buddy, Pebble Beach partner, and consummate authority on all things sports and music. Practice
And
facilities.
that performance
Above
brings
average
it
driving
down to
range,
even par.
heading toward
Not
the
bad.
Santa Rosa Mountains. Practice chipping and putting greens make it worthwhile to
15th
get there
hole
early.
coming up.
My rating, 7. I have played the mountain course on multiple occasions in the past and was surprised to see it on the list. The front 9 of the mountain course is pedestrian, and the good stuff does not start until number 14. The finishing holes are exceptional, running along the Santa Rosa Mountains. Absolutely must play? No. But you absolutely must play
I don't know
in
if
the
this has
desert.
enough.
And this course offers good value and some really good holes, and the Santa Rosa Mountains setting is attractive. Favorite hole? Tough call between the par
Okay,
3,
looks like
number
about
16,
18
and
feet
par
from
4,
here.
number 14. I love the elevated tee and tight landing area on the par 3, but 14 appeals to the sadist in me. This is a difficult driving hole that begs you to hit left, where 2 large, steeply sloping sand traps gather up virtually all imperfect shots. The smart play is to hit right, but it makes this long hole even longer. Location characteristics? The primary attraction is the setting at the base of the Santa Rosa Mountains. On occasion, bighorn sheep may be seen grazing amongst the outcroppings. The course offers more topography than most in the desert, with a number of strategically placed lakes and a few decent views on the back 9. Comments. Playing off-season meant some of the greens were dried out. With only a couple of exceptions, however, I
16th
felt they
hole coming
putted
up here.
true
Let
and
us
were
see what you can
reasonably
do.
quick. The carts have an extensive GPS system that is helpful and an ice chest that is necessary. Water is available at many locations throughout the course. Homes line both sides of the fairway on numbers 10 to 13, which can be disconcerting if you're not hitting accurate drives. The white tees seem too short, with wedge shots into virtually all par 4s with a decent drive. On a good day, you could bring the course to its knees, but like most desert
Great
golf,
contact.
you need to hit targets. Overall, the mountain course is a pleasant golf experience, but lacking any wow factor until you reach the final 5 holes. Round 2, PGA West Stadium. Course rank, 37. Date played, June 3, 2010. Starting time, 9:30 a.m. Weather, 85 degrees to start, 97 degrees at finish. No significant wind, clear skies. I think I dropped 3 pounds despite drinking 2 gallons of water. My score, 82. Number of lost balls, 2, both with an 8-iron, 1 on the signature island green at number 17. Highlights, 3 birdies and 7 pars. Lowlights, 5 double bogeys. Excuse for not breaking 80? The par 3s, which included 3 double bogeys and 1 bogey. I also blame Pete Dye for the sadistic design that
All right, looking
disproportionately
at
punishes
120 yards
mediocre
or so
shots.
to the pin.
Greens fee, $109, discounted off-season rate, see weather. The premium greens fee in season is currently $199. Playing partners. Joe and I joined Joe and Ryoko, a cute Japanese couple who were celebrating their 25th anniversary. Practice facilities. PGA West is a massive facility with ample practice areas and a golf school. My rating, 8. As long as you like Pete Dye courses, I am a fan. Many of my friends do not care for this course given the quirky bounces that can cause a score to balloon,
Good
and
stuff.
the pros were apoplectic when they had to play from the black tees years earlier. Absolutely must play? Yes. Pete Dye has created a crazy, sometimes gimmicky course that will drive you nuts, but occasionally provides a great reward. Even if you hate everything else, there is no denying the fun of playing number 17, a par 3 island hole that is reminiscent of number 17 at Sawgrass. Favorite hole? Number 17. The par 3 is only 135 yards from the white tees, but is surrounded on all sides by water. Known as Alcatraz for the ample rock walls built into the sides of the green, any misplaced tee shot will be lost forever and send you to the drop area. I barely pushed my first one into the lake and reloaded. The second one landed safely in the middle, but it was my third double bogey on a par
And with
3.
that, you
Joe hit
will
a career
stay at
shot
even par.
10 feet under the hole. Location characteristics.
Okay,
PGA West is
here we
situated
go.
deep in the city of La Quinta and is comprised of a residential golf community and 6 golf courses, of which 3 are open to the public. There are numerous undulations, moguls, swales, etc. that give the course character, but at times the water is overwhelming. Comments. The most memorable part of my round was the 3 consecutive birdies on holes 7, 8, and 9 that led to a front side of 38. This, combined with my back 9 37 at the mountain course the day before, led to 18 consecutive great holes of golf. I was underwhelmed by the staff and general setup, especially relative to other
no good.
top-rated courses. A probable bag drop area had no signage when we arrived, no staff, and no place to put the bags, so we had to walk around the clubhouse. The golf carts had great GPS, but there was no ice chest or water, which is generally common in the desert. For a first-class facility, they fell short. The golf itself can be terrific, especially for masochists like me. There are plenty of great holes, and you will be challenged, but bring your patience. The course plays slow. We took over 5 hours, and you will occasionally get bad breaks on good shots. This is not necessarily a course for everybody. Trip summary.
Doesn't look like it's all
I have
fairway,
always
but
loved
it's all right.
desert golf, although it is preferable when temperatures are below 85 degrees. The mountain course at La Quinta makes up for a slow start with a fabulous finish. The sadistic Pete Dye Stadium course is not everyone's cup of tea, but will definitely test your game. If neither course is appealing, there are plenty of other options for all levels of golfers, making the Coachella Valley a great place to take the golfing wife. Even the golfing widow can find things to occupy her time. There is a plethora of excellent restaurants and, I am told, great shopping. The golf courses are usually in excellent shape. Green fees during the season, January to April, can be a bit stiff at the big-name courses, but discounted fees can be found on a number of internet sites if you are willing to wait until the last
Okay,
minute.
the 18th hole here.
Off-season rates are
Let's
very
clear
low,
our
but they
heads.
come with another type
Got
of
the
price.
clubhouse coming up
Regardless
after this.
of whether you're booking a
Just let
golf
it flow.
junket with your usual foursome for a couple of days, or whether you're going to winter in the desert, the Coachella Valley has plenty to offer. Even if you're not interested in the top 100 courses in this area, no true golf addict should miss out on this regional experience. Chapter
Great
10.
contact. Nice
You're
swing.
aerifying when? Frustration reigns as I attempt to schedule additional golf rounds. First, because of the U.S. Open at Pebble Beach, the resort is
And
not
looks
offering any
like,
specials this
I'd say
year.
160
My
yards
goal
or
is
so
never to
out
pay
from the
retail,
pin.
so my 6-year consecutive run to the Monterey Peninsula will end in 2010. However, this opens up the end of August for another trip. I began looking at the Carolinas, but there are so many courses that my brain was unable to process a coherent schedule. I may need to take a week of vacation time just to wrap my arms around multiple trips to that region. A review of the interactive map from Golf Magazine revealed a nice grouping of courses in Colorado. Having spent some time last summer in Park City, Utah, I have fond memories of golfing at altitude. In addition, the accommodations and skiing
you're on the
meccas
green
can be
with
terrific
quite
off-season
a long
and
putt
at a
ahead of
fraction
you.
of the cost during the winter months. Connecting through a Red Sky Golf Club website, I found a terrific deal on a 2-bedroom condominium in Beaver Creek. I figure I can make the trek to Newcastle, Lakota Golf Course, and to Colorado Springs, Redlands Mesa, from that home base. I can supplement the trip by arriving a day early and heading south of Denver to the Broadmoor Resort. First reservation is for golf and accommodations at Beaver Creek and Red Sky Ranch. 3 nights and 2 rounds of golf sent me back $1,250. Not bad given the 2-bedroom, 2.5-bath condominium. Next, it is off to the Southwest Airlines site and the free baggage. Great deals are available on non-stop flights to Denver. This trip also qualifies as an anniversary gift for my wife, so another bullet dodged. The Broadmoor website
Ending
is having
things off,
issues,
even
so I called the
Steven.
resort
Good
director.
job.
I am
All right,
able
thanks
to
for
book a
playing. We'll
standard
see you
room
next
with
time.
golf for about $560. It is not a great deal,